Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Opposite Sides of the Spectrum. I am Lauren with
Tiara for the third time.
You didn't have to say that now, y'all. Look, my mind has not been working right. But anyway, today we're going to jump right in to a question that I actually prepared, y'all. Because y'all know I've been slacking on the questions. But the question for today is...
Okay, I actually don't know the question.
Okay, good. Which I feel like I already know your answer, but that's fine. Okay, if you could change your sexuality, would you, and
Yes.
why or why not? Oh. Never mind, I did not know that.
I would not want to be attracted to men. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. That's what I would change it to. I would be strictly a woman that only is attracted to women.
Or a tear.
That's what I would change it to. But I'm still gonna be queer no matter what. That just is what it is. That's not changing. But definitely, I just wouldn't be attracted to men at all.
It's crazy because you're not the first. I'm sure you're not the last one to say that, but. I know there's a lot of women out there that feel that same way, and it's like...
Because men have issues that they have to kind of take accountability and go to therapy and kind of work through themselves, and it's like they keep wanting women to help them be men. And it's like...
We can't because we're not men.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's men who actually want to help, but they don't want that. So it's just...
Men have to come together as men and figure that out. We can't do everything. And look, I know y'all want us to do everything, but we literally can't. There are some things we just can't do.
Biologically, we just...
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I
can't believe you did not think that was going to be our answer.
Okay. I'll probably tell you why I didn't think that.
Yes, please do. Please do. I'm very interested why you're surprised.
Because you still like everybody.
I do.
So that's why I thought you were going to say no, because it's not like you just solely attracted to men.
Yes. But it would be nice if I just wasn't attracted to men at all. That would be nice.
I get that.
So
I understand. I think I do.
No, I think I do. Would you change your sexuality?
There's nothing else to turn with this one.
See, you wouldn't turn your sexuality to like men. So that says enough in itself.
But it's not any better over here either. So yeah, I'm staying right here, y'all. I'm very comfortable. I love women. Even though I'm not gonna lie, we've been going through it. And by we, I mean us as women. But I would not change my sexuality because that's just always been a part of me since I was a kid. And I know we have not talked about our coming out stories. We have not talked about that whole realization of when we first knew. But the structure of my life really has not changed from the time I was a kid till now. So, no. But
that's nice that you've always known. My sexuality has been a journey that I'm still on.
But I think
you've always known.
But I think your journey is really cool though because it shows that your sexuality is very fluid. It's not just going to be one thing for the rest of your life. And I think some people, especially in the community, feel like, well, I've labeled myself this one way, so that means I'm stuck. I can't change, or if I'm liking men now, I can't, or if I'm liking women now, I can't. So I think that's really cool that you've gone through that journey of just showing like, okay, I like everybody, and that's just what it is.
Yeah. Last year I had my coming out party as being a lesbian, and then when I really thought about it, I was just like, I still am attracted to men. As much as I tried to suppress it, and I know people do the opposite thing of like trying not to be gay and suppressing their feelings for the same gender, but I tried to suppress my feelings for men, and it just wasn't working. And I'm just like, well, right now I don't label myself, but if I were to choose a label, it would be pansexual, because if you're a human being of consenting age, I like you. I don't care if you're trans, non-binary, man, woman. If you are 25 and up, we cool. We can date. So Yes, I'm attracted to women. I'm attracted to men. I'm attracted to trans people. I'm attracted to non-binary people. If I could just not be attracted to straight men, that would be great. That would be great. That would be amazing.
It's crazy because women talk about all the time how they're disappointed over and over again with men. I feel like with men, I've actually had good experiences. And by that, I don't mean like me dating. I've never dated a man, but that emotional availability that a lot of women say they don't get, it's like a magnet for me to my head. I'm like,
men have shared and opened up so much to you, and even men like asking, "Can you be my therapist?" Is wild. It's wild, and it's like the conversations you have with me. Why can't you turn around and have that with your partner?
But I think it's interesting because I was watching the video I sent you. I think his name is Matt. I forgot his last name. I don't know if you watched it. But when he interviews sex workers, they all say that 99% of their clients are married people. Yeah. So it's just
and they sit there, and I'm pretty sure most of the session that they booked them for is that man talking about and sharing his feelings and being vulnerable towards them.
And someone, I'm not in the sex industry business, but I still understand of like people who are in relationships coming to me to have these conversations. Like, you need to have this with the woman you're with, not with me. Yeah. And it's like, if you do not feel like you were in a safe space, that's the bigger conversation that you need to have with the person you're dating and have that conversation. But if you coming to me, like, I understand like it helps release, but that's still not gonna fix the problem when you going home to that person you're seeing. So it's just very interesting of like seeing that men do have the capacity to be emotionally available, but it's not with the people that they like, which is interesting. Yeah. And maybe somebody needs to do a study on that. I'm not going to be the one to do it. But somebody else, please, by all means, take that idea and run with it. Because it's very interesting that I feel like if I really did like men, I probably would find a good man out here. I probably would, because I just don't. Yeah. I don't play when it comes to people in general, but I really don't play when it comes to men. And I think men know that I'm a no tolerant, so they just leave me alone. But they have respect for me, and I think that's just something that I do respect and I appreciate, but it's just very interesting of like, why can't you have these conversations with the person you're dating? Yes. Because I'm sure if I talk to your wife, I'll be able to have an amazing conversation with her, so why can you not do the same? What is going on between you and her, or just yourself to where you do not feel safe?
I feel like that's a deeper question of like, the partner that they picked, the reasons why they picked that particular partner, and the reasons why they chose to marry that woman. So those questions definitely need to be asked and answered first.
It sure does. Because no ma'am. But anyway,
see, I knew the answer you were gonna give.
What other answer I was gonna say?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Yes. So.
Like in this timeline and in every timeline, you're just gonna love women and like women. Nothing wrong with that. That's fantastic.
I do. I can just look at a woman for hours and I say nothing and just feel at peace. And I know she's gonna be looking at me crazy because, like, why are you looking at me? Like, because I want to. Like,
no, I love that for you, truly. Because dealing with these men is just... Dealing with people is just irritating. It don't matter. But I feel like sometimes men is just an extra layer of making sure you're not with a man-child. And that's very hard to find a man that actually is a self-sufficient adult.
Which is crazy. Because I've never experienced issues where I've liked somebody that was not self-sufficient. Yeah. Or wanted me to clean up for them. I've never... Once again, women are just different in that regard. But that's why I would emasculate that man so bad. Not even if I was doing it even if it was not intentional. That man and I would not work out. Yeah. Because for one, a lot of people, and that's something that I've just realized very recently, of like, a lot of people do not have the capacity to be with me. Yeah. And that's not a bad thing. It just means that you're just not for me and I'm not for you, and that is okay. Mm-hmm. But I just, when it comes to men, I'm going to require way more than they can give. Yeah. And I'm not going to stretch that man out to where he just feels like he has nothing left for himself and he's just depleted. Yeah. I'm not going to make that man have be resentful towards me. Like, find a woman that really loves you and appreciates you, because I do believe that men are deserving of love and they deserve to be treated right. But you gotta love yourself. A lot of men do not love themselves, just like a lot of women don't love themselves. So, people, we all need to heal
as a collective.
And no matter what the race is, how you identify, everybody just needs to sit down somewhere and heal.
You choose yourself and love yourself.
Yes.
That's the only way you're gonna love anybody else. My favorite quote is from RuPaul, saying, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love anybody else? And that's so 100% true. 1,000,000% true.
Yes. But now, y'all, we can be on that question forever. Moving to the song, I actually picked the song again this week. And it's not really so much of a song as it is.
It's a spoken word interlude on the Hotels album by Jasmine Sullivan.
Thank you. Yes. So, y'all, I'm actually going to read what it says. I can actually read it now, y'all. But basically, her name is Amanda, and I'm assuming this is one of Jasmine's friends. Or did she just pick
I believe, because it's been a while, because when this album came out, I was very interested. I like the way she set up the album, of it being stories of different women within her album. So I believe it's like different friends, family, just people that are close to her, are the people that did the spoken pieces on this album.
Okay. Well, Amanda, she said that, you know, it's a little hurtful that I can't just be confident in being with one person, and that, you know, she has to look over her shoulder and looking at these girls on Instagram, and, you know, it's hard sometimes because I don't have all that they have. And the sex has become my superpower. It's like sex is where I'm finding my worth. You know, it's the one thing that I know I can make you keep coming back to me. But at the end of the day, even if you don't really want me, I know you're going to want that. And in one way, it's empowering. In another way, it's sad. And then she basically just says that she feels moments of sadness knowing that just me alone and who I am is not enough. And I was gonna do, and what made me want to pick something from this album is because a good friend of mine, hey Taylor, I don't know if she listened to it, but we had Valentine's.
Oh yeah, we did. It was great. It was so fun.
We had a good time, and Tiara was there, and Taylor, and she gave me a Hostel album, like little.
It's like a picture. It's like the picture of the album and like the song tracks on the bottom. We'll definitely make a post on Instagram of like the gifts we got. So I think that would be cool.
We should. No, I can't post one of them, but I can post all the other gifts. But I'm definitely gonna post that one. So it just, I told her earlier this week, of like, I did appreciate that gift because it really sparked just motivation. Like, okay, seeing like an album of a black woman on my living room, which is what I wanted anyway, and I still have like a lot of space that I'm probably not gonna cover it before I move out of here. But it's nice just to kind of, I wanted to put that picture somewhere I know I'm always gonna look. Yeah. So, it really is inspiring just to see that, okay, I can do that too. So, but yeah, back to the spoken word. I thought this was really good because I wanted to do the other side, but I'm like, no, let me just do a spoken word. But I think she said a lot in this 40-second clip.
That, when this album came out, for me, it is what I needed to hear at that time.
Yes.
So yeah, this one really resonated with me. This Hotel specifically really, truly resonated with me because that's how I felt in the past, of like, I know that when I'm going out and having these escapades with people, that even if they don't like me, I know why they're coming back. I know why. And I completely agree. Like, yes, being in like your sexual energy can be very empowering, but it can also be very sad if it's just like, the only reason you're coming back to me is because you like what you're getting from me. Not really me. So I really did resonate with that one. And I've done like work on myself to really like feel empowered in my sexuality without making it feel like, okay, well, I guess I have to give them this for them to stick around.
Interesting. Well, how do you feel about like when she said the confidence aspect? Because I feel like that's very interesting and like
the confidence,
and how like she says she can't be confident in being with just one person, but she also finds confidence within the sex. It's something that she knows.
Okay, I'm poly, so for me, I feel like if you're monogamous and you're struggling with maybe having one sexual partner, I just think if you're struggling with something that you believe in and it's like, these are the rules, maybe that's not for you. Maybe you should practice like open relationships when you get into a relationship with somebody if you feel like you just can't have one sexual partner. But I would have to ask her, what does she mean by that?
But I think from what she was saying was that when she sees other people, she finds that she's very insecure. Like she can't. It's like she knows the person she's with is probably going to linger somewhere else, or like their eyes are going to wander somewhere else. Like she can't keep up with these Instagram models and all these other women that look like they have it all together when she's just like, she does not. So she's always constantly like she has to like overcompensate for her insecurity in regards to other women that men might want.
Yeah. I will say this. On the internet, men say they want and they're attracted to one thing, but in real actual life,
it's the complete opposite.
And for real life, men are attracted to the things that they quote unquote say that on the internet they don't like. Men love bigger, curvier women. Men love women of all shades and colors.
They do.
Men love all those things that they claim that they don't like. It's completely not true.
And we've had like a lot of conversations about this, but I feel like, and I'm not a man, so if you're a man listening to this, like write in, like let us know if we're wrong.
No, please do. For real.
Men,
for real.
I just feel like people try to go off of this blueprint of like what they're supposed to like and who they're supposed to like. Yes. So when they are actually going off their own blueprint, it's completely different than what society would say is somebody you're supposed to like. Because as a lesbian, a masculine woman, I've been hit on quite a bit by men. The more masculine I've gotten, and I've experienced this like just when I was younger, like in middle school. So I would go to, let's just say the rec center, my hair be a hot mess, and I'm hooping. I had this whole situation where my dad was in the gym, and it was this guy was like, "Oh, my friend wants to talk to you." I looked a hot mess. I was sweaty, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to talk to her." And I'm just like, I didn't talk to that dude, but yes, like men do like all types of women, whether they're straight, gay, they don't care. And I just wish men would just be more comfortable and confident in knowing what they like instead of just trying to feel like they have to like what society says they have to like.
Yeah. Because I feel like, and this is also veering off of what we're going to talk about, but since we're already here, I feel like when it comes to lesbian women just like women. Mm-hmm. When it comes to straight men, they only like a specific type of woman that fits into what patriarchy and toxic masculinity tells you the woman you're supposed to like.
Yeah.
So I think that's where like the disconnect is, because lesbian women and straight men, y'all like the same thing, y'all attract the same thing, y'all attract to women, but it's just different in how the attraction is.
Yeah.
And I do find that really, really strange, because it's like, you will be treated better by a lesbian woman, even if she takes you through hell in that relationship. You'll be treated by a lesbian woman than you will by a straight man. Mm-hmm. I really do believe that. And I've dated both men and women, and those relationships were not good mm-hmm. for my fault and the other person's, but I was treated better in the relationship with a woman than I was with a man. Mm-hmm. So, and it's just mind-blowing, because it's like, y'all are attracted to the same people, mm-hmm. but why is the treatment so different?
I just think, once again, it just goes back to how people process things, what they're used to, what mm-hmm. they've seen as examples for relationships. It's just like a whole bunch of things mixed together that creates this whole experience with that person, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like also with this, that Amanda's tale is very interesting because I feel like I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum with her.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, sex is not something that is a superpower of mine, and I feel like for me, finding confidence in the sexual realm has been very difficult.
Yeah.
For me personally. So it's just like, I know people like the things of me, but sex is not something that is my go-to. Like, I know if people are stuck on me, it's that emotional connection or that emotional chokehold, I guess I should say. But
not to call it a chokehold, but I mean, it is. It is though.
It's not that I'm proud of it, but it's just, I'm just telling you what it is.
I don't think you shouldn't be proud of it. It's just who you're letting in emotionally that might not be the best choices sometimes.
Yeah, I guess. But I think it is just interesting in trying to find confidence, but also having confidence in the same dynamic is like, it cancels each other out. It's very like interesting how you can feel so confident but not confident. Yeah. So if you listen to the State of episode, Alana and I did talk about this too, but it's just, I think that confident, comfortable segment is just very, very interesting on so many dynamics and so many levels because
just because you feel confident in something does not mean you're comfortable feeling that confidence.
Yeah. So I hope that, I know this album came out a few years ago, I think, or a year or two ago.
When did this album come out? Let me see when this album came out. But yes, it's not a new album.
It's not new. No, it's not new.
It's not a new album.
I just hope that she's found the strength that she needs and knows that she is enough. And if somebody's only going to come back to you for a piece of you and not all of you, that's not the person for you.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I would love to end off on that because that is very true. Okay, so this album came out in 2021.
Yep. But this album is 3 years old, y'all. But it's still a good album.
It's still a great, fantastic, amazing album. But yeah, I really do, like, if you have not, because I know some people, they don't really, I love to listen to albums. I love to listen to full pieces that artists put out and create. And I know some people, they're only like, they only listen to singles or songs because there are people that don't listen to like intros or interludes or anything. But I really do encourage you for this album, listen to it straight through or just go through and listen to like the spoken word pieces if you've never heard them before because they're really, really good.
And even I think men could listen to this because yes, I know these is women talking, but I'm sure men have felt the same way.
Yes.
So I think everybody should listen to this album.
Amazing.
But yes,
what's next?
We are gonna jump into the since it is Women's Month.
Yes, it is Women's Month, right after Black History Month.
Tiara's gonna jump into some women's history.
Some women's history. We're gonna talk about Miss Joyce Bryant today. She was referred to as the Lost Diva. She was born October 14th, 1927. A lot of people at that time compared her to Marilyn Monroe with like how she was shaped. I think it should be the other way around.
She was there first.
So that's how a lot of people and actually her and Marilyn Monroe was actually a woman that was for women. I don't know if and maybe we'll do like a Marilyn Monroe piece or something or put it on our Instagram, but Marilyn Monroe was actually friends with a lot of like Black women singers and entertainers, and she even refused to like, because she would do like just showings at clubs, because if you heard Marilyn Monroe was going to be at a club, you were going to go. And she refused to go to a certain club unless and I forgot which artist it was, but it was a Black woman artist at the time, and she was like, if you're not going to let her sing, I will not come to this club. And she sat front row and watched her friends sing. So Marilyn Monroe, she was for women. And I respect that about her. I really do.
I know she gets a bad rep because people talk about her in a very
she's
sexualized way. But a lot of women, too, that are sexualized really be the sweetest women. And you actually get to know them beyond the sex.
Yes.
You will learn so much about her and why she does the things that she does. But once again, people don't take the time to get to know people, so be very annoying.
And at this time, if you were a woman, you were just sexualized, unfortunately. We're still sexualized today, but no. But she grew up singing. She sung her whole life. She was a singer in California and New York. She was just as famous as Josephine Baker in this time. So this was like in the 40s and 50s. A little fun fact is on December of 1952, she defied the Ku Klux Klan threats and became the first black entertainer to perform at the Miami Beach Hotel.
Okay, let's go.
She was in Life magazine in 1953 and in Time magazine as well. So she was one of the top female nightclub performers at this time. Okay. And her songs were even constantly banned from the radio. But even with that, she still had a lot of success. And she was still very religious despite like her sexy bombshell music career look. She was still very religious. And she actually exited the entertainment industry because her manager at the time wanted her to do cocaine to preserve her voice. And she was like, I'm not doing that.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
So she left the music industry. She rejoined her church. She went to college. And she eventually used her talents to be a civil rights activist. And she reinvented herself as an opera singer. And her niece actually runs an Instagram account for her. It's called @JoyceBryantOfficial. And it has content of her life, clips from her career in the 40s and 50s. And actually like clips of her during like today's time of leading up to her death. She passed away at 95. And she passed away November 20th, 2022. So I think it's really sweet that her niece made her that Instagram account to like showcase her life and showcase her life all the way up until her passing. And she still continued to sing, which is a beautiful, amazing thing. And there's also a JoyceBryant.net where you can learn much more about this really amazing woman, amazing entertainer. That if we had equality at that time, we would be learning about her alongside of Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
So
that's really sweet because I didn't know anything about her. So that I think it's good to give attention to people who deserve that attention.
Yes. So yes, that's our women's history.
Y'all, the next segment. Tierra told me to be nice, so I'm not going to release. I'm going to say my.
No, say how you feel. Say what you want.
But I'm gonna let Tierra talk about the ordeal that happened to where I will not be in support of silliness.
Okay, so for Black History Month, the job I work at, they would have a different food truck every week. And it was Black-owned food trucks because it's Black History Month. So the truck I've been looking forward to all month came the last week of the last day, literally the last day of Black History Month. And it was a wing truck, and I was so excited. I was looking forward to this for 2 weeks. I was so excited to try these wings. I'd actually went out to get food earlier that day, and I purposely did not get wings because I knew I was going to have wings for dinner at my job. And when I pulled up to my job, I saw the truck, so I was like, okay, the truck is here. I'm going to get my wings. I walked outside when it was time for my lunch. And like when I was walking, there were two people walking towards us, and the person behind me was like, oh, did y'all not go to the food truck? And they were like, oh, they're closed. So I'm like, okay, let me just go see for myself. So I go up there and it's closed, but I smell the grease. Like I can hear that it's on, and I smell the grease. So I'm like, what is going on? What is happening? So I knocked on the window, And the lady comes out and she's like, "Oh, we're closed. I'm not serving any food." And I was like, "Oh, like, do you know what time you'll open?" And she's just like, "We're closed." So I'm like, okay, that was a waste of 5 minutes. And also, I didn't bring a lunch that day. Like, I was looking forward to eating these wings. So when I got back in, I was asking, like, I asked my HR person, my manager, and a coworker. The HR person said that when he went outside for his lunch, I guess they eat 30 minutes after us. So when he went outside, he was like, the truck was just gone. So I don't know. And that's crazy because it's like the HR people are the ones that set this up. So for this person to just literally just pack up and leave and disappear and not like say anything to them, he was just like, I really don't know what happened. She was just gone. And my manager was like, yeah, like when I went out there, she was just closed. Like, I don't know. And then my coworker, she was telling me that she had gotten to an altercation with one of the employees and basically refused to serve everybody.
I believe her story because she actually has a story.
So that is what happened with the Black woman-owned food truck that came to my job, and I didn't get to eat because apparently she got into an altercation with somebody and refused to serve anybody else. And if you're listening to this podcast and you know that I'm talking about you, please DM us. And if that's not the story, if that's not what happened, please let me know. But I was really looking forward to trying your food, of spending $25 to $30 at your truck that night. And there were quite a few other people that was actually going to eat there. And I don't know what happened with the pre-orders. They gave us something where you could pre-order food. So I'm not sure if they got a refund. I'm not sure what happened with anybody that pre-ordered. And I'm glad I didn't because I would have been really pissed off. So, yeah, that's how that went. Thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm going to be real cute with it. Because if I let my mouth run, it will run. I do not like the fact that this lady tortured people. And
using the word torture gets me.
It is, because she knew y'all were going to smell that grease. She waited intentionally when y'all were on y'all lunch break. Didn't come in there at all. Because my thing is, if there was an issue, I get that. But she could have talked to HR. She could have talked to anybody in that building before, because I'm pretty sure that altercation occurred before it was 10 o'clock. Yes. So she could have went in there and talked to somebody and said, hey, I'm leaving because of what X, Y, and Z. Yes. So you can just tell your employees they're going to have to find another way to find their lunch or get their lunch. She just how she went about the situation was very unprofessional. And I'm not even going to get into the Black business thing because that's a whole podcast itself. But I do not like the way she literally said, yeah, I'm going to punish everybody because of one person. And the fact that, once again, regardless of what the situation was, you missed out on some money. You let one person affect your money from you getting the bag.
She missed out on a good $200-300 she would have made in 30 minutes.
That I don't understand how anger and all that can equate to you just leaving and literally having people starve because you did.
You say torture and starve is sending me.
You were hungry, weren't you? Yes. I'm sure that HR dude was hungry.
He was hungry because he said he didn't bring a lunch either. People did not bring their lunches to try this food.
And we've been talking about this because Sierra did tell me that her job was bringing out another food truck because the other food truck didn't even show up.
Okay, there were a total of 3 food trucks.
There were 3?
Yes, there was a burger one that the first week they were supposed to come, they were having issues with their truck, so they came the next week. They did actually come, but I don't eat burgers, and they didn't have a turkey burger or like a veggie burger option, or even chicken. They literally just had beef burgers and that's it. So I didn't eat there. There was another truck that did like nachos and baked potatoes.
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah. I told you about that one.
You did? I don't remember about that.
But that one, it's not like they really advertised that one for whatever reason. I just came into work and it was like, hey, this food truck's here today. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not a fan of like baked potatoes and nachos like that. And I had already brought my lunch, so I was like, okay, cool. So that truck came.
That's why you didn't tell me about that one, really. Because I do not remember you telling me about... You told me about the truck that did not show up because they had issues in the Black History season finale truck. Told me about that.
The Black History season finale truck. Exactly.
Told me about those.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's how the Black History Month food trucks went. I didn't get to eat off of any of them.
And they were all black as owned. Okay, well, the first one I understand, and something was wrong with the truck. I get that. They did come back.
They did come back.
You don't eat.
I just don't eat anything that they serve.
I tried to get some French fries, y'all.
I was not spending $5 on French fries. I'm sorry. I'm not spending $5 on fries. Those better be the best fries I've ever had if I pay $5 just for some fries and stand in line just for some fries. Those fries better be amazing.
But no, y'all, Tia really does like wings. So, and I was looking forward to hearing her review on the food because I'm like, okay, maybe it's a place we could try, but I'm not going.
If I see this woman's truck out in the real world, I would go up to her and be like, hey, this is where I work, and I know you remember that night that you were there. Why did you not serve food? Like, I just want to get your side of the story because I'm not a person that's just like, I need to get both people's sides. I'm not just going to hear one side and believe it. Like, what happened? What was said? What made you so angry where you were just like, I'm closing and I'm not going to leave until after y'all's lunch is over. Like, you really just sat there for our whole lunch break, but I'm closing and I'm not serving any food and I'm not making any money. Like, what was said to you where it compelled you to, like, just not get your money? I don't understand.
Because if it really was that bad, I would have just talked to management.
Exactly.
And just told that person I'm not serving them and explain what happened instead of not punishing everybody else. Yeah. Because I'm sure there's a lot of nice people at your job that would have still been in support. I wouldn't have, y'all, I'm just cheap, so I'm not paying $30 on, especially if I go to work. When I go to work, y'all, I'm going in office.
You don't spend no money.
I take my lunch Monday through Friday. I sure do.
When we would work at the same job, and I would basically buy lunch maybe at least two times a week when we went into the office.
You like to socialize with people. I don't be socializing with the people.
Because if people are like, hey, we're going to lunch. We're going to this place. Do you want to come? Sure. Like, I don't care if I brought my lunch or not. If y'all want to go eat together, I'm down for it.
And you know where I'm down for? Eating in my car. Because there's time I overplace and order one. I prefer, I'm really not like, no, thank you. I appreciate it. I had my lunch. I want that little microwave. I put my headphones on. Right when I clock out and pick up the time, I put those headphones on my head, warm up that food, and I walk to my car.
I am screaming.
That's what okay, the coworkers I work with are really, really sweet. Yeah. But I'm there to get a check and go home. Because we could just work at home.
No, honestly.
Shit, wasting the gas. Come up here just once a week.
But yes, like, I'm just a person, like, if I'm out, I just feel like I gotta, like, get something. So,
and I get that. And that's why we're the opposites. Because you're the very bubbly person when it comes to people.
I think it's hilarious you describe me as bubbly.
Because when it comes to people, Tiara, compared to me, you are. You go that extra mile to spend time with them. I do not.
This is new information to me. This is brand new information to me.
Compared to me, yes, because people are going to categorize you like that. Even if that's not how you feel about them, that's how they categorize you. I mind my business, and I let your numbers be good so you can look good for your manager. Mm-hmm. That's what I go to work for and get paid. You like to talk, and you just have that aura about you where people are just really comfortable talking to you. Yes. People like to mess with me to get me to talk.
Which is hilarious. Which is so funny.
Because if you know me, I can talk your ear off.
Yes. But I think it's so funny when people are like, oh, Lauren's so quiet and timid. No, she is not. She is played in your face. That's what she has done. She's played in your freaking face.
I wouldn't say playing in your face.
You are playing in people's face.
What are we going to talk about?
Nothing. If if you don't have anything to talk to them about, then yes, you're very just like quiet and timid.
I don't like small talk conversations.
Lauren gets on my nerves sometimes with her just talking. I love it, but also sometimes it's just like, dang, what is girl hush?
She's really saying that because some things.
These voice notes, y'all. You talk about a podcast.
Okay.
Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I scroll to just see how many they are, and I'm like, all right, let's start them up.
Y'all, also I'm bored, so I just have nothing else to do. So that's why I've been listening. And for one podcast,
oh my goodness, what fell? Oh my goodness, not the little. It's fine. It's fine.
Because depending on what you say, and this just goes for anybody that I send voice most to, if you say something that I really can talk about within a minute, that 1 minute could be 5 minutes for me. Because I'm breaking down what you said and I'm also including what I feel.
I'm glad we send voice notes on Instagram because Lauren would probably send me 2-hour voice notes if we could send them on our phones. Like, it would literally actually be like 2 whole hours of voice notes.
Did you drop
my earring literally just broke.
It broke?
Yes, it did. I need to stop. I really want to invest in real actual jewelry instead of buying the little cheap stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be expensive. I'm definitely going to like own a home or be renting a home and definitely call that insurance and be like, this is what I have. Yeah. This is the value of each piece. Here's a picture of each piece because I'm not going to play with y'all.
Definitely do that and send in the invoice and all that because I've seen so
I'm not going to play with that.
Where people say they lost stuff and they really didn't.
Yeah, I'm not going to play with that.
Don't file a claim right after you put that on your insurance because you will be invested.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. R.I.P. my earring. But yeah, I think it's funny how people perceive us versus who we actually are. Because at work, like at my job, people do see me as very like reserved and quiet, but I'm just a person. I have like that shell, and once you like break that shell a bit, I do open up. But I am kind of like really closed and reserved.
Because you are, but you go out of your way to talk to. I don't do that. I walk in that building, I have my headphones on my head, I plug my stuff in, I go to work. If you say, hey, I'll wait, I'm small, but I'm not going to make that initiative.
You're just going there, don't talk to nobody.
I talk by default. If you ask me a question or something, I'll answer you and I'll have a conversation with you. But once again, I am not somebody like small talk conversations. Right. And I feel like if it's not genuine, why am I wasting my breath on you? Mm-hmm. Why? So I don't think it's me being fake. It's just that I'm very private about my personal life. Yeah. And it's like people want to know about my personal life at work. And I'm just like...
I feel like that's a whole different conversation though, because I've actually been thinking about that and giving thought into that. In corporate, Black women have not been protected. No. So when we go into jobs and we're very quiet and reserved and we don't really talk about our personal life, it's because we've heard so many stories and seen so many incidents of a Black corporate woman going to work and not being protected, and things that you've told in confidence or just for fun at a little happy hour with your coworkers being used against you. Mm-hmm. So I think there is some of that trauma of why I'm so closed off at work, me personally. Mm.
I just don't care.
I just don't care. Oh my goodness. Yeah, for me, it is a little bit of layer of, okay, if I tell this person this, I don't want them to use this against me.
Please, because I'm going to leave anyway.
Yeah, you just don't care.
If it gets back around, that's just what it is. Everything happens for a reason, I believe. So it was meant good. You did it for me. Thank you. Once again, y'all, it's not the people. It's just when it comes to just me being 27. I know I'm still really young, but I just know this is not the career I want. So that's why I just really don't care. You don't see any value of like making connections with people that you're eventually going to leave this company anyway. Mm-mm. And I can understand that. Like once again, if I feel like if I was friends with somebody before they came to this job and then we became, okay, that's fine because I knew you outside of work. Mm-hmm. But I'm just not somebody that finds value in forming deep, intimate relationships with coworkers.
Yes.
I like to keep my personal and my work life separate. Yes. I just do. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to tell you anything about me, but there's just certain things where, like, what I do in personal life has nothing to do with my job.
Yeah.
And I am very grateful that I work at a place that's very queer, affirming, and very positive. I love that about my job. But I myself is enough to tell you what it is. I don't have to open my mouth for that. So, and once again, with social media and just, you just gotta be careful with what you tell to people, how you maneuver around things. I'm just, yes, part of it is to protect myself, but at the same time, it's just like, why are you so pressed on getting to know something that doesn't really have to do with this job?
Yeah. I feel like there are people that their life is like they're at home, they deal with like their spouse and their kids, and then they come to work, and that's where they find and formulate friendships, is at their jobs. Versus, I have a life outside of that job. I have friends outside of that job. I have personal things. I have my dogs. Like, I have my family. Like, I have things going on outside of my job where I don't have to use my job as like a socializing ground. And I'm not saying that's wrong or bad for people that do that. But for me personally, I do have a life outside of work to where, I don't really find value of making deep connections with coworkers.
No. So. I don't get that. But you're still nicer than me. So. Shit.
Oh my goodness.
You be talking to everybody at work like, da-da-da-da-da. Bye everybody. Because y'all sometimes she'll call me and I'll hear her talking to her employees. And I'm just, peace. See you next tomorrow. Because,
okay, I will say, like, at one of my jobs, there are people I just talk to because we're just right next to each other. So I just talk to you. And at another one of my jobs, it's like, I feel like, so I work with like a lot more like younger people. So I feel like they look to me towards like for like advice or mentorship because we have like talked about those certain things, like about moving and the cost of moving, and just people are really, and I'm so happy about this for the younger generation. They're really on the wave of let me be with myself and get myself together before I get into a relationship, and I love that.
That's good.
I love that.
Well, one of our generations starting to figure it out.
Yes. So like it's just really so I do talk to them, and it's like when you're in a enclosed, because I'm like in an enclosed space pretty much with these people because I'm in a cafe. So when you're in an enclosed space with these people and you have to ask them, you know, you have to communicate by default of like, which sandwich is this? Did you do the modifications on this? Wait, this person said they wanted this change. So by default, we have to communicate. You know. So yeah, when we have downtime, we just talk. We talk about mainly just about like music and the different hobbies we do, and them going to school and their professors and stuff. So I just feel like I have to talk. Not I have to, but being in that enclosed space, and it's like, well, there's no orders on the screen or anything to do. We're just gonna talk because we can't go in the dining room and sit down. Like
you're being an aunt,
Tiara. Speaking of being Aunt Tiara, I am an aunt to this beautiful plant right here. This is Lauren's child.
Yeah, before we get to my kid, let me get to this dating tonight.
I forgot about that.
It's real simple, y'all. It's basically just saying, ask people why they are dating you and use discernment if something doesn't feel right. That's the dating advice.
Women, please follow and listen to your intuition. Whatever God or being or entity or universe you believe in, they have instilled that in you for a reason. Please listen to your intuition. It is not wrong. If you're fighting with yourself, you're fighting with your intuition, and you're fighting because your intuition is saying one thing, but you want to do another. Please listen to it. Please. That is the best advice I can give on that.
So, but yes, back to baby Keon. This is my kid, y'all. I've had him for over a year now, I would say. If not, it's going to be close to a year.
Yeah, definitely at least a year.
And he came in a different pot, and he was very small. And y'all, I'm not good. I don't have a green thumb. Apparently my granny did, but she didn't pass that on to me. So I wanted to invest in something that I knew would not die in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And his little flower thingies, I don't know what they're called, but they were growing before I repotted him because he did come in a different pot. But I noticed like some things about my child, y'all. I think he's just very stubborn as well, and I'm a very stubborn person. So his leaves or his plant started kind of just withering, and then I also noticed his spikes started kind of like going down.
I see that now too, actually.
So I was just kind of wondering, like, okay, what's going on? I know something's off.
Yeah.
So when I took him to the doctor today, y'all, the plant doctor, which was free $99.
The Callaways. Yes. If you live by Callaways, they're kind of like the Walmart of like pets. The Walmart of plant supplies and things. So yeah, I would definitely recommend before you go to like a little fancy store or you go to somebody that's like it's $30 an hour or something, whatever. Go to Callaways first. Because the people that work in Callaways are actually very knowledgeable about plants.
And she was so sweet, y'all. And I love how it said the Callaways nursery. I'm like, this is so cute. So yeah, I took my baby and she actually was very informative. And we only maybe talked about 5-10 minutes. And she knew right away of like,
what was wrong?
Okay, she said for one, his pot is too dense, y'all.
So he needs like a pot with a wider base, I guess.
She said the width is fine. It's just it's too deep, I guess.
Oh, it's too deep.
Yeah, the depth is too deep. So he needs something that's gonna release some of that moisture, because that's what she was saying why his little spikes are down, because they are supposed to be going up. So she was saying once I repot him, that will help relieve some of the pressure, so he'll feel better.
Yeah.
And then also she showed me some fertilizer I can get for him. And then I'm probably going to look to see what type of like soil that he's going to like, because he's not really feeling the soil, y'all, at all. So I know he's been mad at me for a few months and it's been cold. So that's also why he has not been happy.
Yes. But
I basically brought him because we're talking about communication. Whoop whoop, y'all.
This is the nonverbal communication.
Part 2. But with plants, you know, they don't talk. And even with animals, you know, they have their own language. Plants literally are silent. So you have to be very observant and really know what's going on and the changes that you're seeing in your plant. And he expressed so much in the last year, just from how he's been. But she did say that he's not dead.
Obviously.
She said he's not in like horrible condition, but he could be in better condition. Yeah. So she said it was a good thing that I came in to just give him a little checkup.
Like he's on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being a dead plant and 10 being like great and thriving, I would say he's like at a 6.
I agree.
So
we got some work to do, but it's manageable and it's something that can be corrected. So
yeah, it's not too far gone.
Yes, to hear, because I've never been connected to like a plant, y'all. So this is new.
You're a plant mom.
I know. I actually feel connected to them, so it's kind of interesting. But I do like it. So
nice.
Let me take him out.
Good old baby Cam. Yes, it's very sunny today, so he's gonna enjoy the sun.
Yes.
Just like my dogs. Miss Princess, she loves the sun.
Her favorite picture was so cute when she was sunbathing. She said this morning.
Yes, because I have to leave and she wants to stay outside and sunbathe, and I'm like, no, come in.
With her and the dogs, I don't trust her in that sense.
Yes, there's a neighboring dog and they hate each other. And they just bark and try to go at each other. So I cannot just leave her unattended and unsupervised in the backyard at all. Now Luke, he just ignores the dog. But Princess, she has to
She likes
fight.
to fight. She's very fiery, like someone that I know, y'all.
Because my dogs, and I feel like if you're going to take on taking care of a living thing, whether it be a plant, because plants are living things, a plant or an animal, I feel like your personalities start to like match, or you figure out why you were so like drawn into getting that specific thing. So I have 2 dogs, Luke and Princess. They're both my actual literal children.
They are children.
And they have such different personalities. They do get along. They do love each other. But they have such different personalities. Like, Luke is very just like, I want you in my space, but we can sit on opposite sides of the room. The reason Lauren is clapping is because that is her personality. And she said, like, when I go get my pet, I'm going to take Luke with me and be like, give me this dog's personality.
Yeah, I'm going to bring him and describe him. I'll give him some chicken nuggets. So I know he's going to be very annoyed that I dragged him.
Drug him out of his home.
But I'll give him some chicken nuggets. But yes, Luke's personality, I understand him. Because he does have his moments too where he actually is very cuddly, he's in a good mood. But half the time, he just likes you in that proximity. You don't have to touch him and annoy him, but he just wants to see that you're there. And I get that.
Yes. And Luke's an asshole. I love him, but... And if you've had an opportunity to watch Luke on your own without me around, like my roommates had, they were like, oh, Luke is crazy. Like, he's real chill when he's around me, but he acts like the biggest crybaby when I'm gone.
Y'all, Princess, this is before you were going to Mexico. And Princess, because, okay, I felt bad because I think I should have closed the door, but Princess ran out. And as soon as Princess ran out, Luke was panicking. He knew something was wrong. And he was starting to cry. And I was trying to comfort him. It was not working. So he was like, I wanted where my mom, where did Princess go? So he really got immediately nervous.
Yeah. Luke has really bad separation anxiety. And something that's helped is having Princess. But also, I've always lived in an environment where somebody else was always there. Yeah. So it's gotten better. But yeah, Luke has really bad separation anxiety, and yes, if me and Princess are gone and missing, he's not okay.
He really,
he's not okay.
He wants to fight. I know he likes to tear up the blinds when he's nervous.
Yes.
So,
the blinds have not been tore up where I live now. They were definitely tore up when I first got there, but I replaced them, and they've not been torn up since. So that means he's been chilling, which is good.
Yes. And once again, part of how your animals communicate is in their behaviors. Yes. And why they do certain things for very specific reasons sometimes. So sometimes you just have to be aware of like why they're doing X, Y, and Z.
Right. Yeah.
The Princess will definitely tell you when she's mad because
Princess has a very fiery, sassy personality. Princess walks around that house like she owns the house and she pay all the bills.
And likes to sleep everywhere.
Yes. It is so hilarious. But yeah, even though I can't communicate in human English with my dogs, we still communicate with each other. Luke is very intelligent. He's a German Shepherd Chow Chow mix. And Princess is like a pit bull staffy type mix. Yeah. So Luke is very highly intelligent. Luke actually does understand human words. He understands food. He understands let's go outside. He understands the word treat. He knows how to do different tricks. So he understands sit, shake, lay down. So Luke does understand a few human words.
He knows hello too, because I said hello. Yeah. He actually waves his tail. It's so cute.
Yes, he knows hello. Princess, she knows a little bit.
Yeah.
Princess, I feel like nothing goes on in her brain. She's just out here living life and enjoying it. And I love that for her.
Yeah. Princess is being Princess. Yes. She knows somebody gonna take care of her. And that's what it is.
But yes, Princess loves to go outside and roll around on the ground and sunbathe. And when it's cold, it swaps. Because Luke doesn't like being outside when it's hot. He goes, he pees, he comes right back in. And Princess will go out there and she'll roll and she'll sunbathe and bark at the dogs and the trees and the birds. And Luke will just be like, okay, I went outside, I'm ready to come in. When it's cold, Luke loves being outside when it's cold.
Yes.
Loves it. Lauren always says if Luke didn't cry and whine, like, he would probably have field trips over here. He would be staying with Lauren some weekends. Because yes. You and Luke act the same.
We do.
Y'all are like the same. Y'all have the same personality. And I think that's so hilarious. But Princess has a personality of like, I want to be glued to you. Literally glued to me 24/7.
That's why I love Princess. And Princess and I, we're understanding because she knows I'm not a very affectionate person. Mm-hmm. But she's still really sweet and she gives me my space. So we've worked on boundaries. And animals are really good with boundaries.
Yes.
Better than humans.
No, you said better than humans.
They are.
I'm screaming.
We've understood the relationship and that's just what it is.
Yeah. Fair. Mm-hmm. But yes, I have learned and them just being like in my space for so long and me learning their personalities, because dogs are not just dogs. Like, every dog has their own personality. So I've had to take the time and put forth the effort to learn my dog's individual personalities and what they do and don't like. And we just got done going through our food thing. I finally found a dog food thing. It took forever. I feel like that took like 2 years.
I don't think they're liking the food though that you got. Like
it's fine. I've been wanting to feed them something better, but they like eating like the junk food of dog foods, and that's the issue. So like I finally found like a better dog food that they'll actually like. They hate the Blue brand. They do not like that brand at all.
Is that supposed to be the better brand?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the better brand, but they do not like it. So now they eat this brand called Taste of the Wild. It's actually a brand I've gone back to because it is a brand that has worked in the past, but it just started getting too expensive, so I bought them something else, and it was just been this whole thing.
They said they want that brand.
Yeah. So yeah, I know I don't communicate with my dogs in like human English, but we still communicate with each other. But that takes effort from both sides to know and learn the like different signs of how to communicate.
Especially with Luke and his food, because Luke really is like a human, because he don't eat spaghetti without the sauce, pancakes without syrup. Like Luke is, you can't outsmart Luke. He kind of knows you about to do, so that's why how he processes things. I get it.
He is very, very intelligent, honestly, truly. But yeah, when I first adopted Luke, this is at the time I was like 20, 22, didn't have no money. And so like sometimes I would end up just making Luke the breakfast I would eat. So if I would make pancakes, I would put the pancakes down and he would just look at me. He would just look at the pancakes and look at me. And I'm like, do you want syrup? Is that like the problem? So when I put syrup on it, then he would eat the pancakes.
But have you given it to him before with syrup? Or that was like the first
I feel like that was the first time. Maybe, okay, I don't really remember, to be honest. But, and I've tried just giving him a spaghetti noodle before. Without like sauce. Just a plain spaghetti noodle. And he won't eat it. But when I put sauce on it, then he'll eat it. He's like, I know what this food is supposed to have on here.
Luke is hilarious.
Yes. And yes, Luke loves food. He loves food. He just looks like a little baked potato. It's so cute. And Princess just looks like a little ham.
She does.
A little roast.
You and this roast.
She does. It's so adorable. It's so cute.
But yes, y'all, as y'all can see, we can talk all day long about our plant and
yes, our children. These are our children. Mm-hmm. These are, and I call Luke and Princess my little actual children, because I got Luke in my first relationship and I got Princess in my second relationship. And you see who has the kids.
You got full custody.
You see who got the kids. So I'm like, this is a very good representation of if I had a real child with these people, who would have the kid? Mm-hmm. It would be me.
And dogs are very expensive. They're not cheap. I know.
I just bought a Chewy box yesterday, and it cost me some money. Oh, over $200. But I also got some stuff for my sister's cat because I'm a cat aunt. And I love Miss Lola. She's like a black cat. She's so cute and sweet. Now she's a baby because we be fighting because she doing silly stuff, but she's a baby.
Because you got the senior dog, so you
yes. I call them my puppies, but they are like older senior dogs. Yes.
They don't.
But they're my babies. Yeah, they don't act like old dogs at all. They really don't. Which I'm very grateful for. Yeah. Because they're going to be here for another good 10, 15 years, I think. So that's good. But yeah, I'm getting my fair share of being the auntie. I'm finna retire being a mom. I'm tired of being a mom, y'all. I've been a mom since I was like 12. I'm done with it. I'm good. I didn't have my mom experience. I'm ready to just be the aunt.
I want to be a mom, y'all, but I'm not financially in a place.
Or found somebody with some sense. To parent with, to even co-parent with, like at the bare minimum. Not even that.
So that's why I have baby Cam and
being a plant and a pet mom is where it's at.
Yeah,
that's where it's at. Mm-hmm. Taking care of real, living, breathing children, absolutely not.
I do believe that. I know Tara is not for having kids. Mm-mm. I am for having kids. I feel like there's never going to be a perfect time to have children, but there's a better time.
Always a better time.
And yes. This is not
always a better time.
I can do better before being a parent. So yes.
Because the crib will be right here in the middle of your living room.
Yeah, there's not a lot of. I have a one bedroom. Yes. Y'all. There's not any room to have a child.
Your living room would be the kids'
room. Mm-hmm. I would have to move that box and put that bed right there or something because
my goodness.
Yeah, I would definitely need more space to start out with. So this is fine just for me, but
adding another human being, absolutely not.
Mm-mm. But anyway, y'all, just moving on in our communication. I know we've talked a lot about just improving how we communicate and the differences we've noticed once improving certain skill sets of communicating. Like, did you want to talk about, I know we talked about it before the episode, but just how you feel communicating with like friends and family versus before you started working on it and now?
Okay, so this is also a continuation of like episode 1 of communication. So if you've not listened to that, go listen to that. We go more in depth about a bunch of different things. And this episode is really more of a wrap up. Really. So yeah, definitely listen to part 1. But for me, so for example, I'll say in the past in relationships, I've always been like, people have to read my mind and know what I want. And if you don't know what I want, I'm mad at you. Mm-hmm. So now I'm mad at my partner for something they don't even know exists that I'm mad at. Mm-hmm. So I would do things like that. I would just let things build up and then blow up, which is very unhealthy. Mm-hmm. Very, very, very unhealthy. So I've worked on like, if someone does something to me or says something off to me, of just immediately or literally as soon as possible being like, hey, I didn't really like this. Mm-hmm. I didn't really like this, or hey, I need to have a conversation with you. So I've gotten like a lot better at that, of having conversations with people when they've done something that I don't really like, or just making sure I have clarity with people in conversations. Because so I ordered a new ID and I never got it. Mm-hmm. And so I was asking my aunt, like, hey, do you remember what documents I need to take to the DMV to get another ID? And she was just like, well, you can just go on the website and order it. And I'm like, I've already done that, but it never came. And I think we were just having, like, I don't think she was understanding what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to, like, physically go get my phone and show her. I'm like, this is the app.
Mm-hmm.
This is the ID. This is the question it's asking me that I can't answer because I never got my other ID. So I just need to go up there physically and get one. So just something like that. I feel like in the past I would have just been like, okay. And then complain to my friends about how my aunt don't listen. Mm-hmm. Instead of like addressing like, okay, we're probably having some miscommunication, so let me like clear that up now.
That's a good one.
And not be like, oh, you just don't listen to me and complain to somebody else. Mm-hmm. So not only feeling my feelings, but like being able to communicate your feelings and being able to know when like maybe you and a person are having a miscommunication moment and knowing when to fix that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That really is good, because I think a lot of times we get frustrated, but we also have to keep in consideration that everybody thinks differently, and how you say something, they might not register it in a way that you're wanting them to understand that.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think breaking down conversations a little bit more is helpful with people understanding the full picture of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So that really is a good one for that.
Because I did not grow up in an environment where we communicated our feelings effectively. And I did not grow up in an environment where I was encouraged to feel what I'm feeling and then kind of think about what I want to do with that feeling. Mm-hmm. And also communicating how I feel.
That's a lot of steps. It is.
Yes, it is a lot of steps. So... and that's all. Yes, you got to communicate with your feelings, but you also have to know and identify what feeling that you're even feeling and how you feel about it. And I know that sounds convoluted, but all that, it just works together. Because I can't explain to you how I feel if I don't know how I feel. And I don't know what feeling I'm identifying, or I don't know what triggered that feeling in the first place. Yeah. So I can't effectively communicate that to you if I haven't taken those prior steps first.
That's a good one. It is. What you're saying about it, I don't keep saying that, but it is. It's making me think of just like a lot of other things.
Yeah. And right now, I'm living with family, and I'm really understanding what people mean by you pay with your mental health, because between June and August, I'm out of there because I can't pay with my mental health no more. I'm not going to have no more mental health left if I stayed for the year I wanted to stay, but the mental health, that toll, that tax is too high. It's too much. I'd rather pay more money to be mentally sane than living in an environment where I'm not really paying a lot of money, but I'm literally paying in my mental health. I can't do that. I can't do that. So I feel like being around like my community, my friends, we're all on the same mindset of like wanting to be better. And then being around like my family of people that are just very stagnant and set in their ways, essentially, and then trying to bring those tools to them to communicate better and effectively. It has shown me how far I've come, but I'm also getting frustrated trying to communicate with them. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. Like, I'm great that it's like, wow, I really have come a long way, but then it's like, y'all are irritating the hell out of me because y'all really don't know how to communicate effectively at all.
Yeah. I get that. I guess I'll answer the question.
Yes. So the question was, how did you, like, I guess in the past communicate, and then like how do you communicate now and today, and like the steps you've taken to get there?
Yeah, that basically was the question. So as a kid, I was very shy, very timid. Still am, but it was worse than it is now. And I was just in an environment where I saw the opposite sides of the spectrum, with one parent being very passive aggressive and one parent being very confrontational. And they both are bad, y'all. I know people it's both bad. When you have that mixed together, it just creates crazy. Yeah. So I feel like I was always somebody, and I'm still this way clearly when I was explaining my job situation. I'm just very to myself, and that's just how I've been for a good chunk of my life. And with that, sometimes I was very uncomfortable with expressing how I felt at 100% about something, because even though I feel like I'm someone who's very emotionally available, I was in situations with people who were not. So it's hard to communicate how you truly feel, and also being terrified of that person's response and how they're going to respond when you know somebody is just listening to respond and not listening to understand.
That too.
And
that's also a big part of communication, is making sure you're listening for how that person is feeling and what they're saying, and not just listening to how can I combat and respond to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's also where a lot of miscommunication comes, because it's like you weren't listening to me about what I was sharing with you. You were just listening to see how you can defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not really listening to like how I'm feeling.
Yeah, you're not keeping the other person's feelings in consideration. It's just you being selfish because you want what you want out of that situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just very shy. I didn't know how to express myself clearly. And that's something I still want to work on when it comes to just projects and other things in my life. I'll have an idea, but then I don't know how to explain it to somebody in a way that it makes sense. And that's something that I really, really want to get better with. But I feel like over the years, I've found more of my voice and more of who I am. And I think also when you're suppressing part of who you are, it's also hard to communicate, because once again, you're terrified of the reactions that you're going to get, and or you know how somebody's going to react, and you don't want to deal with that. Because I'm not a confrontational person at all. I will do whatever.
Because I'm extremely confrontational.
Oh, yeah.
And I tend to make friends with people that are very like passive and not confrontational, and I think that's really funny.
That's how we balance each other out. Because y'all, like I was saying, I'm not a confrontational person, and I'll just do whatever I can do to avoid conflict instead of actually having a conversation. So with me, in the past, I will be mad about something and I just won't address it. Yeah. I'll just let things build up, and then I don't want nothing to do with you. But I didn't even tell that person why I was mad. Mm-hmm. So they're confused, like, why are you not talking to me anymore? So I feel like over the years, I've put more energy and effort into letting people know, first of all, I'm upset. And even if I don't want to talk about why I'm mad, then I will have that conversation in a few hours. And it's even gotten to where I'm telling my friends, if I send you a picture of the Grinch or something, I'm mad. I know it sounds silly, but at least you'll know I'm mad right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm just a very moody person in general. Yeah. So that's also something I've learned, just how to deal with myself when it comes to communicating. We'll talk about that. I don't want to jump into that yet. But I feel like also when it comes to just communicating with my friends, y'all are very open and very supportive. And I think, once again, part of healthy conversations is being in a safe space to have those conversations. Yeah. Because if you're not in a safe space to have those conversations, then it's going to be difficult to have those conversations.
You're just going to be really guarded. If you don't feel safe, you're not going to really open up like you need to in order to effectively communicate.
Yes.
It's very closed off.
And I feel like the older I've gotten and just being an adult, I've just felt more comfortable and free in expressing who I am and saying what I want clearly. Mm-hmm. So,
and I don't know, I think it's great because like I've just been always just been a very expressive person. Mm-hmm. And I've just been very just like a bold person. Mm-hmm. So like watching some of the people around me that like, yeah, when we were like in high school together, you were very timid and very quiet and very to yourself. And seeing like the person you've blossomed into today is really amazing. And I'm glad that like you speak up more and you advocate for yourself more, and that you're just more expressive with who you are.
I have to be, because if I don't, then nobody will. And you can't rely on somebody to advocate for you. You got to advocate for yourself. Yeah. You can't wait around for somebody to do it, because it's never going to get done. And
it's never going to happen, actually. So, it'll never happen.
So I think that's just stuff that I've done. It really is. my communication has gotten better because I feel like my confidence has gotten better.
That too. Yeah.
But I still have a lot of work to do when it comes to the confidence realm and advocating for myself. Mm-hmm. But I have done the steps of going to therapy, learning how to set boundaries, which I'm still working on as well. Yeah. But I've done those things and really just be more honest with myself in certain situations of like, look, this is what I want it to be, but it's not, and I need to do this and this and communicate that. And once again, learning how to communicate my needs and not being terrified of being very upfront about what I want and how I want certain things. So just being very open about that has been a work in progress, but I'm proud of where I'm at and I'm ready to work some more on it. So.
Yeah. I feel like our relationship with each other has gotten better. For one, from me becoming like just more emotionally available and not so emotionally closed off. Mm-hmm. It's really improved our relationship. But also we have learned how to effectively communicate with each other. Mm-hmm. And I feel like at first, when you first learn somebody, and it's crazy because people want to do this backwards on what I'm about to explain. When you first learn somebody, you need to be very talkative and make sure y'all are communicating correctly and making sure people are not like misconstruing your words or things are getting lost in maybe like translation or something. Mm-hmm. Because I know some people, they're like, I don't like texting because it makes me sound rude.
Yeah.
And I think that's the funniest thing.
Though.
I get that too because I'm like, I use a lot of emojis when I text. And I do that at first with people. I'll use a lot of emojis when I text because I don't want you to think I'm coming off rude. Mm. Like, I don't want that to happen. So, I feel like at the beginning of any type of relationship, friendship, a job, coworker, business partner, romantic, please communicate feel like you're over communicating. Mm-hmm. But because then you'll start learning those nonverbal cues about people. Because with Lauren, I know she has a face. She has a face that she makes where she's just irritated. So I know I'm like, okay, I'm going to just let her do her thing and get out of this mood. Because I know she's going to come talk when she's done processing.
I haven't seen that face, y'all, so I don't know what she's talking about.
You know what face she is. But yeah, so you have to, I feel like the more you get to learn a person, that's when you learn their nonverbal cues. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of people mess up because they try to do too much non-verbally without talking to each other about anything. Yes. People like to do that process backwards. They do. And I just don't understand that. I mean, I do understand because I was that person of like, you need to read my mind. But you're not going to get anywhere in any type of relationship if you start off with, this person needs to read my mind versus let me almost feel like I'm over communicating so you kind of understand me first. And then you can really focus on like those nonverbal cues people give you.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
and Tiara, it's just in her tone. I can tell when she's upset. It's very obvious. Or she'll just flat out say, I'm upset right now. But yeah, sometimes it's just asking people like, oh, are you okay? Like that can also clear up.
I've stopped asking people, are you okay? I ask, I specifically ask, okay, if I ask somebody, how are you doing? Are you okay? And they're like, oh, I'm fine. I'm like, okay, are you actually fine? Or are you just saying I'm fine as a response? Mm-hmm. Like, is something actually wrong? Are you not okay? And it's okay to not say you're okay. But that's what I respond with now. When people just say I'm fine or I'm okay, it's like, is this just the response you're giving me for conversation, or is something actually wrong? And you just don't want to talk about it. And if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine too. But if you're not okay, like, let me know.
And I feel like I've done the same thing, a little bit different, but I'll just ask. Something that I've started doing. I ask like, how would you rate your week? Because that tells me, okay, since if you don't want to say exactly what's going on, if you say a 5, okay, I know it really was not a good week, and then maybe talking about, okay, and I think for me, it's like I'm trying to figure out like how to communicate in a way of like feeling like I'm not prying, just trying to be nosy, but also I am your friend, and if something is wrong, like let me know what's going on.
Right.
So, and sometimes I can it's just energy that I feel with people, and like I know something is off. So I'll try to push it a little bit, and it's just like, okay, something's not right. So what's up? Like, are you sure? Like, sometimes I just ask it. You know, I can ask questions all day. So
yes. That talkativeness. Yes. Yes. You put a quarter in Lauren, she'll ask you 25 questions. You're always ready to play 20 questions at any given time of day.
Yeah, that game probably going all day. Because my answers are also very long. So, yeah.
But, oh my gosh, I had a thought and I lost it. We actually had a communication moment yesterday where I called you and you were like, you sound really like out of it or annoyed or upset. Yeah. And I told you I'm fine, and I was not fine, but I just at that time I could not tell you what was actually going on until I got in the car, and I was just like, I mean, as you can see if you're watching the podcast, my hair is faded down. I love my hair like this so much, but my grandpa actually came to visit, and it occurred to me my grandpa's never seen me
really
like with my haircut. When I cut it before, no. Oh. I think if he did see me, it had grown out a bit, so it was like a small fro. But he's never seen me with a freshly cut fade before. Oh. And so my grandpa actually came over. Y'all, we're gonna have to make a Patreon, and I'm gonna have to explain to y'all about each and every one of my family members, because y'all gonna have y'all popcorn, and y'all are gonna be laid out and shook with the information I have about my family, as I think everybody feels about their family. But my grandpa was like, why did you cut your hair? And I'm like, because I like it. Like, I like it short like this. And then he was asking me about my sisters. And I'm the type of person where, like, I was very parentified as a child, and I'm really trying to break out of that. So I just kind of let people live their lives. If you want to come to me for advice or because something happened for help, I'm open to that. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to sit there and be like a parent. So when I told my grandpa, you know, I really don't know where, you know, my sisters went. They're just out right now. And he was like, well, you're supposed to know because you're the oldest. And I'm like, they're not my kids. Yeah. Those are not my kids.
And they're grown.
Yes, and they're grown. Everybody in that house is 21 and up. Mm-hmm. Everybody is grown now. Everybody's adults.
They have their own lives.
Yes.
I can't be there every single step of the way. And I'm sure they don't want me to be there every single
Right. Those are not my kids. So I'm like, dude, okay. So yes, I was irritated when I called you.
I knew you were mad.
I was irritated, yes.
That's why I think I asked you like twice.
You did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was just like, no, I'm fine. I'm just tired or something. Like, but I just could not tell you I was actually irritated at the time. Okay. I eventually told you though.
You did, yes, you
did. But you can, Lauren, I feel so bad for her future children. They're not going to be able to hide a single thing. You can't hide anything from her. She can feel your energy and she can hear your tone. You can't hide nothing. You can't. And I feel energy too. And I like listen to people's tones too. Like it's you the do. Same. But when I know I've done something I'm not supposed to do, and you know the situation I'm thinking about and referring to right now. I don't know if I'm gonna want to tell y'all that, but she knows. She always knows. There's nothing you can hide from Lauren at all.
To know, y'all.
There's literally nothing you can hide from her.
So nothing. Just be honest, y'all.
You can't hide if you out there having your escapades. You can't hide if you're pregnant. You can't hide if you've been talking to that person you said you wouldn't talk to no more. You can't hide nothing from her. She knows. She already knows.
I don't ask to know. I hope y'all know that.
And it's not. It's just you feel it.
Yeah.
You genuine. And I understand that. I really do understand that. But yours is way more intense than mine. You're a lot better at it than me.
It's not fun either. Sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes it is because you're messing people, but other times just like, oh, this is what we're doing. Okay.
Yep. So it's just, Do you feel, oh my God, this is a whole other tangent that I don't even think we have the time for. But we're going to have to make a part 3.
I'm fine with that.
We're going to have to make a part 3 because there is something I want to ask you, and I might open it up in the next episode with asking you this question when we do the third installment of our communication series. But I also want us to talk about like how we communicate with ourselves. That is going to be what part 3 is about, is self-communication. I feel like we've talked about communication styles and how we communicate with other people around us and how we communicate with each other, but we have not talked about how we communicate with ourselves.
Yeah. Well, we're making a part 3 on that. But, oh, that was the question you wanted to ask?
No, we're done.
Oh.
We are 4 minutes from being an hour and a half long. So yeah, as you can see and tell, we love to talk. Lauren loves to talk. This probably felt like a 15-minute conversation to you. So
it'll be like a 45 minutes.
But yes, we're definitely gonna make a part 3 of our communication series. So definitely tune in for that. We will put the links down below about Miss Mamas. What is your name? One more time for me. About Miss Joyce Bryant. We'll also put her Instagram that her niece has made of her. So people can go give that woman her flowers. Give that woman that recognition she so much deserves. I feel so like connected to hearing Black women's stories in the times where people kept trying to keep us down and suppress us, and we still shined. I love those stories so much. So we'll definitely put the links down for that. Food truck lady, if you're listening, please DM. I really want to know what happened. I would love to hear your side of the story, but I was really looking forward to trying your wings. And maybe I'll see you out in the world, and I'll see if I'll try them. I don't know. But I'm going to meet that story first before I try your wings.
Well, y'all, I think that's all we have for today. Once again, as Tiara said, I will have all our social media stuff linked in our description. So please follow us. We'll put some more stuff on our accounts. If you haven't already followed us, please follow us. But I am Lauren.
And I'm Tiara.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.